All right, everybody. I just had a little technical snafu. For those of you watching on Substack, I toggled over to a different tab to read the Sabian symbol for the new moon to you for 25 degrees Taurus. And totally, yeah, it did not work. When I came back to this tab, it just stopped recording. So thank you for sticking with it. And this is actually a great way to split these up, right? Like, the preamble beforehand, I always pray that what comes through me will be something that serves someone. And at the same time, it's like that was a very just personal share about what's been going on for me. So you can kind of pick and choose and decide which one you want to listen to. So here we go. New moon reading. Let me feel into that. A well-kept public park. So if we have a new moon on that degree, what happens? What needs to happen to have a public park that serves everyone in your community? Well, we all need to work together. It needs to meet the desires of people. Like, there's different people, maybe different parts of ourselves that want to be met, that have different needs, different desires. You have people that have toddlers that want a playground. You have people who want to go on a date to the park and have like a cute little spot and a cute little nook. And you have people that want to barbecue. And maybe you have people who are really interested in having bats come in. So they want it to be really natural and they want there to be certain pollinator plants, like we're going, who lives in this community and how can we serve them best? And how can we make it a win-win for everyone so that everyone gets to use it and everyone has at least a part of themselves that is satisfied by it? And a park like that, I mean, it makes so much sense for Taurus because Taurus is earthly pleasures, abundance, maybe there's a garden. If we have a new moon on that degree, we're really turning towards making something beautiful with our community. So just letting that land and noticing how that feels for you. Who is your community? And I keep getting this feeling of like the community inside of us, like parts work, IFS, there's the inner child, there's the true self, there's the essence, the spiritual essence. There's the manager, there's a protector, there's so many parts of us. What is a beautiful way to work with all the parts of you, to take care of all the parts of you, working towards beauty, abundance, like that feeling in your own body. What does that feel like for you? Do you know it? Can you sit with it? Okay, let's pull some cards. I've shuffled the F out of these since I've been doing it for a long time in between waiting for that last video to upload. Great. All right, asking Spirit to be here, asking to be a vessel for Great Spirit, for the divine, in service of the highest good for everyone who is listening and for all. What is the energy of this new moon? What do we need to know about this span of time, this new moon and the couple of weeks that are going to follow? I've got two cards that... which one is it? It's you. All right. Coming out of mental contraction, coming out of punishing ourselves. You might be in a time right now where you've been really self-critical or judgmental, and you have been cutting yourself up, so to speak. Self-harming in a way, like we can self-harm through our thoughts, right? We can, if we're talking about parts work, like I just was, we can have the inner critic who can be so punishing. You could also call that inner part the punisher. And there's a way that you have been interfacing with that part, working with that part, um, feeling the way that it's been cutting you up. And it feels like a moment where we're all going to get some reprieve from that, where we are going to come out of that contraction and receive something that we need, receive some kind of love that the inner child needs in order to kind of break the spell of that punishing part being the predominant part. So it really feels like there's a big, and Taurus is such a self love. I mean, it's so sensual. It's such a like, okay, give yourself a big hug, kiss yourself, like really feel what it feels like. There's a lot in somatic psychology and somatics where we talk about, giving yourself a big hug like this, like really folding over and really clutching, that the body doesn't really know the difference, that the same chemicals flow. If you give yourself a really big hug, like that, you can still get that kind of oxytocin and still get that down regulation. So even experimenting with that for yourself, and then also knowing that this new moon is going to bring it, like it's happening. You've been doing the work, and you could lean into some more self-love practices. You could, because it's a new moon, you could do intention setting with self-love. But this is really like a deeper layer of self-love. And I know that so many words get overused, and so many words like don't mean anything anymore because we've heard them so many times, or they get misused. Like self-love is a bath. Well, yes, it is, like carving out time for yourself. But self-love is really like, if you have a wounded part, if you have an inner child that that's been online or you can connect with, really seeing what they need, like what's really going to move the needle, what's really going to help. Maybe it's going to a dance class if that's something you love and you never do. Maybe that's taking more time for yourself. Maybe that's, claiming some time that you need for yourself. Um, but there's something about like really opening to like a permission, like a live and let live attitude that you're bringing to yourself. There's so many ways that we judge ourselves that are so innate and so sneaky, like we don't even know they're happening. So it's slowing down. Like, sometimes it's really loud when we're in a trigger, and sometimes it's just like part of what's going on in there. And it can take a while to realize, like, oh, whoa, that's a voice that's beating me up. Like I've worked with like the intense inner critic and I can recognize that, but can I recognize when it's insidious and a little softer and a little sneakier? And this kind of self-love is like loving yourself when you have a reaction that you didn't like, when you're reactive, quote unquote, when you're sick, when, if we call back to what I was speaking about in the first part, the first video, it's like, can I love myself even if like something happened and I couldn't get a hold of this estrogen patch and I was back in the deep, debilitating brain fog and low energy? Can I love myself there? Can I love myself in like the deepest shit? Can I love myself when my brain says stuff like, for me, like, oh, you have this blood disorder, and like, I hope things are okay, and or things might not be okay, and like start going down some loop. Can I love myself even in that moment? And even love the part of me that's fucking with me? Like it's all of it. Yeah, it's like a really, and I think part of deep self love is down regulation. This is where I'm gonna, like, this is gonna be on my gravestone, like, go lay outside on the ground. Have I ever told you guys to go lay outside on the ground? Yes, I have. And you might have your own version of that as well, but there's something about, just like laying back, looking up at a beautiful sky, trees around, down-regulating, letting yourself feel held by the Great Mother, letting yourself feel like you're floating in a pool of water. What gets you to that space? Can you get there by yourself, or do you need a witness? A lot of times we need a loving witness to get there, and that's great. That's good. All right, so let's see. We're coming out of this contraction. We're applying the balm, the self-love. Let's see what our next question is here. What is a good way to be with ourselves in this next 2 weeks? What is the best way? What's a good way to be with ourselves in the new moon and the 2 weeks following? Okay, so this is a card of, it's the Ace of Swords reversed, and this is not generally what this card means, but here are the words coming through. There are no bad ideas. And so whatever part of you that is berating yourself for having that bad idea, doing that bad thing, oh, I moved and I thought things would go better and they're not going better. What, it was a bad idea. I made a bad idea. I'm bad. I took this job, and like a thing that we did, the impetus was like because we needed something to change, but that perhaps it's not bringing exactly what we thought it was going to bring, and things are still uncomfortable. Or yeah, there's something about like this, there is no bad ideas. So it comes back to that. They're really bringing through a lot of guidance around not judging yourself. And it really harkens back to what I shared in the beginning of like opening to new ideas, opening to things that, how do we open to a new idea anyway? I think usually we get out of our bubble and we see a person having an experience that is so markedly different from what we thought it would be like. And my example there would be like when I was exploring antidepressants and I asked friends who like, who need them and who take them and who are enjoying what's happening to them. When I asked them my, really scared question of like, will I not be myself anymore? They all said, I am more myself. I have more access to myself. And what actually has happened is the part that feels maladaptive, or the part that feels major anxiety that was debilitating, or the part that was in suicidal ideation is actually quieter. And I can keep doing my deep work in the world. And I can do it with so much more of myself on board. And I'm actually making new and better connections from that place. So I feel like this is just another of like, there's something right now that we're being asked to like stop judging ourselves, or being asked to apply deep self-love and just get rid of some layers of judgment. Like there are no bad ideas. Could that be true? I mean, as soon as I say it, I can think of some really terrible fucking ideas. I can think of some terrible systems. I can think of, just pure evil. Yeah, we can go like we can go all out. And that's not where we are, and that's not what this card is talking about, because you're not pure evil. If you're listening to this podcast, I have a feeling you're not. You're not. And we don't need to go there. We don't need to bring in like another part that gets defensive or gets like, actually, and these parts are all welcome. And this is about like that thing that we do when we think we made a mistake and we took the wrong turn, and then we're just like, oh, I'm gonna beat myself over the head, man. I did the wrong thing. I should have known better. Can't know better. It's that cool thing about hindsight. So, really, these cards are asking us to, they're giving us the opportunity as well. Like, this is the energy that's going to be there. They're giving us the opportunity to be kinder to ourselves, to have like some kind of opening, some kind of magical opening, which is really awesome. And what is a resource for us in the next couple of weeks? And as we open to more self love, what is a resource for us? The resource is knowing your innate goodness. The resource is you are not bad. The resource is coming back to that knowing, and that, like, I want to say, like, we are all God's children, if that resonates. Like, we're all, whatever language there resonates for you, we're all mirrors of the divine. We're all part of the divine. We're all facets of the divine in this like grand kaleidoscope. And like the struggle is part of it. The struggle is part of it. You can't get from here to there without all the shit in the middle. Like, you can't learn a lesson without getting your ass kicked. You can learn some lessons without getting your ass kicked. But you know what I'm saying? Like the big ones, man, that are just like pummeling, that so many of us are in right now. It's like the middle is a mess. The middle is a mess. We're coming out of the messy middle. And can we just be like so, like when you grab your dog's face or your cat's face or your kid's face and you just cover it with kisses? Like, bring it back to yourself, or imagine, some divine mother or father or presence doing it to you, or just bring it back to yourself. Like, that's what we're all really craving right now and deserving of. We are all innately good. If you're listening to this, you are innately good. Okay. I think that's the reading. I think that's what it is. Thank you for listening. If you would like your own personal reading, you know where to find me. I'll put the links below. And yeah, I feel like April, we were all really, really in it. I feel like there is some release in May. So just let yourself be the release, feel the release, allow the release. Something's really moving, something's really shifting. We're really changing, but in a softer way than April was. Like, April was probably the banger, and July is going to be another banger, says astrology. But we are in this in-between point where we do get to rest, and we do get to build the community park and we do get to feel some kind of evolution of our own beliefs and psyches and ability to soften towards ourselves. So, all right, my dears, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again around the full moon. Bye for now.